What's up everyone? So today I'm out in the Tacoma on some trails that I've never been to. So I'm out here by myself today, checking out kind of this power line trail, I guess you could call it. And I just ran into a dead end, so we are going back to see if there's another part of the trail to go through. But in today's video, I wanted to go over a pretty popular question that I've been getting on the truck. And that is, how much has the project cost me so far with all of the mods that I've done to it? Now I know it's nothing crazy yet, but a lot of the questions were directed towards the lift kit. And I'm just gonna go ahead and address everything that I've done to the truck and compare it to a TRD Pro, because a lot of people are asking, is it worth it to get a Pro or do what I'm doing and get a TRD Offroad and put some money into it? So we are scouting out these trails today, and I just avoided that huge mud puddle. Not that I don't want to go in it, but if I happen to get stuck, I don't have any recovery tools with me yet. That's gonna have to be another project for another time. Hitting all these tree branches and everything. I think there was another way. Ooh, sliding a little bit. I think there was another way that we could go up here. Ooh, big bumps. Oh boy. All right, so while I'm making my way over to this other area that I can see up ahead, comment down below, you guys, what do you think of my truck so far? I know there's some parts that not everybody likes, and I love how it's turned out so far. There's some changes that I'm gonna be making in the future, not anything soon as far as like the exterior design of it and everything like that. But can we not go that way? Ooh, I was hoping to go that way. It's a pretty tight area. I think I'm gonna have to get out and walk, and I'll catch up with you guys. Hopefully we can go that way. Well, it doesn't appear that I'm gonna go this way because this is pretty much a lake here. So that's gonna be another dead end. I think we are as far as we could go out here. So we're gonna head back to the truck then. I guess I'll just park right there and we'll go over the build process so far, what it's cost me. All right guys, so I really didn't get to take the truck off-road that much today. It was just a random trail that I found. But that's not really the point of today's video. Now it's time to go over the build process, everything that I've done to the truck. And I'm basically going in order. When I got it, I put it in my phone. So it's kind of going in order of how I've started and what I've done to the truck beginning to last here. So we'll start off with the tonneau cover. I have a Gator Trifold soft top tonneau cover. That was about $235. I really like it. It keeps the bed nice and dry so I can use it for other things if it's raining out, and it's easily removable to put my motorcycle and dirt bike in. So $235, not really all that much when you consider there's hard tops and other covers out there for $1,000, $1,200. So just over 200 is really not all that bad. And I like it. I have a lock on the tailgate too, so I'm able to actually enclose things in there as if it were a trunk or something. Moving on to the matte black vinyl that I have on the sides of the door and the bed. That's something not everybody likes. I really like it. If you can see, there's a whole bunch of mud out on the sides right now from the tires, just kind of splattering them everywhere. So it's protecting the paint. There is a factory clear coat kind of just on the bottom 2 inches of it. I think it looks really cool, but again, not everybody likes that. That was about $70 worth of vinyl, and I did get to do the tailgate as well. So that was a fun project. I'm gonna change it up at some point, but for right now, that's what I have. Next up is the bed rail. This is an odd part that I had to buy. My 2007 Tacoma came with 3 bed rails. This truck only had 1 on each side. So I got the third one. It was $52, and that's basically the main tie-down point that I have my straps on for the dirt bike. So I have 4 up front, 1 bike on each side. So I had to fork up $52 for that. It's kind of crazy that Toyota doesn't include all 3 in the truck because they know Tacoma owners are gonna be hauling stuff. So that was an inconvenience, I guess, but not really a huge cost. So moving on now to all of the blue letters. So you see I have letters on the grill, on the tailgate, on the side emblems, and then there's also some on the glove box. I'd say all of that was probably about $50. I didn't buy all of it at the same time. The vinyl up front is not part of it, so that was a sample that I got for like $3 to $5. I was gonna use that on the inside, but you'll see later that I actually painted on the inside, so I decided to use those up front. Everything else was, again, $40 or $50. I think it's pretty cool. I might change up the sides at some point. That's the only chrome that's left on the truck, and I kind of hit it a little bit with the letters. Next up is the rain guards. Those were about $56. I kind of don't like the ones that I got. I didn't know that they would go all the way down to almost the side mirrors. So I kind of don't like those as much as the other ones that I could have got that were a little cheaper, but those were about $56. That's kind of across the board at what you're gonna find. And next up is my BP Fabricating Grill. That was around $300, give or take. I like it. It was brand new when I got it. It was a new introduction from the company for the 2016 and newer Tacoma. So I think it's cool. It's kind of like a Raptor style grill in a sense. And that's why I wanted to make the letters blue, because they're black underneath it. You really can't see it on a black on black, so I think it stands out a little bit. It matches the truck really well. Moving on now to the paint on the inside. So the paint that I did around the dash and the bumper end caps on the rear, that was about $50 worth of paint and Plasti Dip for both of those. I think that was a cool interior touch. Not a lot of Tacomas come with the body colored interior pieces. I can't remember the trim levels, but there are a few that come, if they're not body colored, it's like a white truck with a red interior. I'm not sure how you get that unless the dealer does that. So this is kind of unique. I haven't seen any other blue trucks with the blue interior. And then Plasti Dipping the rear end caps. I really wanted to do that because they're chrome, so I made them black. I actually found you can buy bumper end caps for like $100, and the Plasti Dip that I got was like 20 bucks, and it's held up well. I don't think I'm gonna change that until I get a new rear bumper. So for right now, it blends in well with the vinyl that wraps around it, along with the tailgate vinyl and the letters too. So I think it looks really clean. Let's move on now to the exhaust and intake. Aside from the lift and wheels, this is the second most expensive thing that I've put on the truck. Together, it was about $840. So roughly $600 for the exhaust, and the remaining was for the intake. I think it sounds really good. It's an AFE catback exhaust and then the AFE intake as well. They're kind of all similar across the board, whether I would have gone with Borla or the TRD from Tacoma. This one was the better deal, so that's why I got it, and it had a black exhaust tip to match the black theme that I have going around the outside, so tied it in well. I didn't want chrome or anything like that. And the intake really makes the truck sound pretty beefy when you get to 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. The exhaust has a nice deep tone to it, but it doesn't have that annoying drone, so out on the highway or anything, I really can't hear it, especially if I have the radio on. Even at a low volume, it's kind of hard to hear the exhaust, but it definitely has a good tone when you get on it. Next up is my rock rails. Those were about $700 from Victory 4x4. That was almost one of the first things that I put on the truck before the lift and wheels and everything like that. And I had a lot of people saying, why would you put rock sliders on a stock truck? Well, honestly, I think that's the first thing you need to do. If you're gonna take your stock vehicle off-road, you need some skid plates, you need the rock rails to protect you because obviously ground clearance is not as high as it is now with the lift. So I had a lot of protection. I actually hit them a good bit of times taking the stock truck off-road. But that's why I did it first. I think they're really cool. They do act as a step as well, so I can use those with the truck lifted now. They're not intended to be a step, but they poke out just enough to where you can use them. So I really like that. They're powder-coated black, again, to match my black theme. I also have foam inserts that I got from Tough Skins as well. Those are in the cup holders and in the door pockets too. Those are about $40, and of course I got them in blue. Moving on now to the interior is the LED lights that I put under the footwells. Those were about $24 from Advanced Auto. I think they look really cool. I recently hooked them up to my wireless charging port button because I never used that. I don't have the right case. Fog lights are next on the list. Those were from 6K LED. Those were about $150. They are so much brighter than the stock ones, and they're almost brighter than my headlights, obviously, because they're LEDs. I use them a lot because I can actually see a lot better, and I might have to upgrade my headlights at some point too, because even just rolling around with the fog lights on, I can see a lot more than just a headlight. So that was definitely a must. On to what you guys are waiting for, the lift kit. I have an OME lift kit. I'll have another video down in the description below of the unboxing, so if you want to see all these specs on the actual lift, check out that video. That was about $1,400. Now, in the kit that I got, you can kind of configure it the way you'd like. So you can spend as less as $900 to $1,000, and a little bit more than I did, maybe $1,500, $1,600, depending on what components you get in the lift. You kind of pick and choose what you want. So that was about $1,400. The tires were roughly $1,200. So I'll have that video. Actually, that video will be the same one down in the description below. The tires and the lift were all kind of one unboxing video if you missed those. I was kind of expecting that. I thought they were gonna be a little bit cheaper. Had I gone with a little smaller wheel, I would have got a little bit cheaper tire, but those were about $1,200. And then the wheels were about $800. And then moving to the very last thing, you guys haven't seen this yet. I have it on order right now. It's another component for the truck. I'm not gonna go into too many details on that, obviously, because I'll be doing a whole video on that. That piece was under $100, so comment down below if you think you know what it is or what it could be. It is suspension component related, so let me know if you have any ideas that video again. Hopefully I'll be doing that sometime next week, just depending on when it gets shipped in. All right guys, so now it's time to go over the final numbers. This is my 2017 Toyota Tacoma. I paid around $34,000 for it out the door. I've put about $6,000 worth of parts into the truck. So that brings my total up to around $40,000. Now to get on to, is it worth getting this or a TRD Pro? I was recently down at my local Toyota dealer and they're getting in some 2019 TRD Pros. I really love the Voodoo Blue that they're coming in now, but the list price on that was $47,000. So that's $7,000 more, and not to say that's a bad truck. I love the color. This one had the snorkel option, which was pretty cool. That's a factory option. It's got the upgraded TRD Pro suspension, so it's more beefy than the stock suspension in the TRD Offroad, but that's still $7,000 more than what I have, and I have a more capable truck because I still have crawl control, but I have a lot more ground clearance, and obviously the wheels and tires, that's whatever you pick. But comparing this to a bone stock TRD Pro, $7,000 is a lot of money. Plus, if you're gonna rip out that suspension and lift it, to me that's a waste of money. Even with the stock suspension in this, it was pretty good, but the TRD Pro has much better, much stiffer suspension. It does have about 1 inch ground clearance over the stock height of this, but for me to spend $7,000 more to get that truck and then turn it into this, I'm spending $12,000 to $15,000 more than the configuration that I have on my truck. So is it worth it? If you really like that truck, if you really like the color and the leather seats, I don't have leather seats, I don't have a sunroof or the sensors in the rear. The 2018s and newer had sensors in the grille, so I don't have that. But those are things that I didn't want to spend my money on, so that's why I don't have them. The cloth seats are nice, I don't need a sunroof. And if that's a truck you love, I'm not dissing it, I really like that truck, but for me, $7,000 more, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I have a more capable truck again, and I love what I've done to the truck so far. So I definitely have more plans coming for the truck. I hope you guys subscribe to stay tuned for that. Right now, this is the build, and I'm slowly but surely getting it to where I want it. There's no need to rush on it. I have a set schedule and time for all the parts that I want to put on it. So that's the build so far. That's what it costs, about $6,000 in parts to get your stock TRD Offroad to this level. And then of course, if you just have different changes, it might be a little bit different than that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.